Okay, so I guess now after this week's Raw, the road to WrestleMania is firmly set with John Cena taking on The Rock. So I guess that triple threat match that everyone was thinking would be really awesome probably isn't going to happen. At least currently, it could entirely change. So we'll begin with the opening of the night. Heyman, Vince McMahon. Of course, Lesnar makes his return to try to attack the chairman of the board. So then it's Triple H coming down and having him battle Lesnar. And then throwing Lesnar into the ring post, and Lesnar taking it kind of brutally, and therefore bleeding like a stuck pig, which makes this match a lot more impressive. I think if these two guys were to have a match at Mania, were to have blood and be really just brutal and visceral with blood. Their match at SummerSlam last year, nice and brutal, but this one, if you throw in some blood, it'll take it to a whole other. These two guys, if they just annihilate each other, it'll be a fantastic match. Probably, and Lesnar's signed for 2 more years. So Ziggler took on Ryback. So Ziggler lost another match. Typical Ryback match, you know, Ziggler did a lot. This is a longer match for Ryback. And of course he still wins. The Great Khali took on Mark Henry. In case you were concerned about that, you know, were they going to fight? Was anybody going to care if they were going to fight? And of course, Henry defeated Khali. The Primetime Players took on Team Hell No. I thought Darren Young was out for quite some time due to a knee injury. Great to see these guys back. However, they lose to Team Hell No in, again, a pretty standard Hell No match. Antonio Cesaro took on Randy Orton. And Cesaro got beaten by Orton. Fast match, not a bad match. However, it does seem kind of bizarre that Wade Barrett loses lots of matches. Antonio Cesaro loses lots of matches. Yet they're both your number 2 title holders. Jack Swagger took on The Miz as fallout from the Miz TV segment where it was The Miz, Swagger, and Del Rio. And of course, Swagger is riding high on this wave of momentum, and he therefore gets the submission victory over The Miz. Cody Rhodes took on R-Truth. It's good to know that Cody Rhodes used to be on a nice trajectory. He was going places. R-Truth was going nowhere. And now all of a sudden, they're changing directions, and R-Truth and all of a sudden seems to be going somewhere with Cody Rhodes really not having a lot to go on right now. And ever since he was part of Rhodes Scholar, it seemed like it was a nice spot to hold them both, to figure out what to do with them, but then break them up to only kind of have them begin jobbing to Kofi Kingston and R-Truth. Might make them a tag team again and have them face the tag team of Kofi Kingston and R-Truth. It would make sense. Missing anything else from my list here? Oh, the Shield did kind of call out some of the other wrestlers they've been feuding with. Then Orton attacked them. So it seems like at WrestleMania, the Shield might take on the team of Sheamus, Jericho, and Orton, which could be an amazing match. Their match at Elimination Chamber, great match. Their match on Raw in the 6-man, great match. Their TLC match, great match. At the grandest stage of them all, against these 3 guys, hopefully that's when Orton makes his heel turn. It's going to be a fantastic match. So now, of course, I'm up to the main event, which was John Cena versus CM Punk. Nice match, but they're, you know, they have solid matches, they have good chemistry. John Cena throws out every move he's got in his arsenal. And then, while they're doing an STF reverse into an Anaconda Vice, reverse back into a, not an STF Michael Cole, it was the crossface. Crossface. I was like, alright, not bad. Cena also used the Demon Bomb. Yes, Batista's old finishing move was not to put away Punk. Punk seemed like he was going to win it. And then John Cena out of nowhere does a Hurricane Rana. And if you watch it in slow motion, John kind of like self-power bombs himself because he doesn't quite get enough rotation. So Punk kind of has to carry himself all the way over. And then another A, and John Cena is exercising his demons because, you know, last year was a horrible year for John Cena. He only main evented like every pay-per-view. And he only lost matches against people like The Rock and his horrible feud with John Laurinaitis. And he always lost in triple threat matches against CM Punk. Or he didn't beat CM Punk. Or, when he'd have a match where he'd lost to Dolph Ziggler, but he buried him every other time. It's good to know that John Cena, after coming off this massive loss from The Rock in one of the biggest matches that's ever been filmed in WrestleMania history, being the main event of WrestleMania, and then being the main event of pretty much every other pay-per-view, he's now on his way back up to the top when he's going to face The Rock for the title. Maybe CM Punk will take on The Undertaker, who returned over the weekend. He didn't show up at Raw. Oh, and I guess that this week's SmackDown is going to be social media SmackDown. So it's going to be a lot of touts and a lot of things going on that distracts from the actual watching of the show. Instead, it's going to be, here's what's trending on Twitter, which we see on Raw, and I don't care about it. Here's the random touts about fans think what they just finished watching. If you want me to watch what other people are talking about while I'm watching wrestling, why would I watch wrestling? Use the internet to watch anything that I want to watch instead of watching wrestling. Don't forget, Tuesday's World Combat League, hosted by Chris Jericho.